Hey, everyone. Welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. We've got a super awesome guest today. She defines herself as a brand protagonist. She's a communications designer by profession, spiritual keen learner with a zeal for remarkable design and philosophy. Apart from her love for travel, in her free time, she spends time with her family, listens to great music, practices meditation, and explores healing modalities. Please join me in welcoming Sugandhi Luthra. Welcome, Sugandhi.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
Sure, absolutely. Bring it on.
Okay, number one, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
So, as you know, I am a communication designer by profession. And so I got spoiled in my college and in learning different communication and how to kind of design that. And bringing on that journey, I still love to explore whatever communication comes my way, exploring that in different forms, particularly social media, combining in both the content and the creative bit, and exploring it in different forms. And especially nowadays we have different things that we could combine, whether they are different mediums. So I kind of combine in all these to to do the expressions of design and art.
That's great. Just a note for our audience, Sugandhi is coming to us from India today. We met at a school in India where she was a visiting faculty years ago. Number two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
Key piece of knowledge. Um, so I call myself a wonderful combination of art and content. Usually, the industry works either just being a content writer or a copywriter or an art person or a graphic designer, but I kind of combine in both the expertise and doing so with uh, combining in my spiritual aspects. So I practice, like you know, I practice meditation, different philosophies under the spiritual. There are loads of philosophies under the spirituality also nowadays. So I combine in all of this to deliver uh, the creative bit.
That's great. There's a word that I've been using a lot for the last few years. The word is polymath, and it's a person who has expertise in multiple areas. It sounds like that's kind of what you are. It's different from a generalist, which just kind of glazes over topics. A polymath has true expertise in more than one area.
Right.
Number three, why this? Of all things, why do you do what you do?
I believe in doing what you love. And when you do that, you will always do that with passion and you will never get tired and bored. So I have to force myself to sleep at night, honestly. I find it boring to sleep for that matter. So I just love of what I am doing. And that's, yeah, about that.
Yeah, we're getting that answer more often these days. Doing what you love and the money will follow. It's a mantra. Number four, what does your future look like?
I think off lately, I have noticed myself being a lot of feminist. And while I think after pandemic, there is a strong vision for everybody to kind of launch their inner desires, I definitely want to launch a little platform for women entrepreneurs that actually looks like building their wings and not just saying it. So combining in their expertise and selling their strengths and enabling them in any form uh, that kind of envisions their dreams. I see a lot of, and especially during the pandemic, a lot of people gave up. So probably, I like I said, I noticed myself a little being feminist here.
I'm glad that you brought up pandemic because we don't often get this response to this question about your future thinking about pandemic, but surely a post-pandemic world must be something that we're all trying to envision at some point. Number 5, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
I feel a place has a major role in anybody's life. It can set in the tone for inspirations, uh, in driving ourselves to each day. Uh, we should be kind of experimenting and exploring places. They plant the entire being into you and defining what you are. So the place has a major role to play for that matter.
When I gave my TED Talk in 2019, I really kind of got engulfed in this idea of place and what place means and how places have different identities. I think it's a super important topic. My first book as well has my TED Talk transcribed into a number of different languages and got sent out to many different cities all around the world. And, I really felt like I connected with each one of those places in a way. So I think we all have this kind of personal relationship with place that makes it a kind of a profound kind of notion. Number 6, if you had to start from scratch, what advice would you give your former younger self?
I used to procrastinate a lot, and I didn't kind of really launch myself in the way that I wanted to, what I am doing right now, and kind of facing the flaws and kind of loving your flaws. So embracing yourself each day. So I think I'll again blame the pandemic in doing that, and I feel that everybody has realized this. So I think to my younger self, I'll definitely say that, embrace the flaws because that's what you are.
Embrace the flaws. I love it. What's a day in your life like?
Day in my life is I have my motherly duties, which I kind of love. And I do my guided meditations nowadays. I just recently read the book Ikigai again, almost like the fifth time I read that. I kind of build my creative and the content library in the morning, in the early hours of morning, and then I hit my day at like about say 8:30 a.m. I start working.
Great.
Up the social media and a few projects that I'm doing. So yeah.
Great. That sounds great. That sounds like a really structured day. I like that. Number 8, lifelong learning is a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
I think it's very important that if you're learning, you are striving and your life will be interesting. So I try to kind of find new experiences because when you're learning, you will be finding new experiences. Now, that can be anything, whether there is some online course that you're doing or whether you are, going to a new cafe to experience. And being into communication design, you don't see the world of, even if you're just visiting a cafe, you just don't visit like that. You'll be seeing the kind of wall art, how the wall art is. I'm very fond of plants, so I noticed that how many plants are there. So I think sorry, I forgot what the question was.
It's just about like how you keep up to date, are you
So
continually?
yes, I think yes. So I think, and now I remember. So yes, experiences. Experiences keep you alive. So learn, interact, and just keep up, update to in whatever form you can.
I can really agree with that. I think, in my everyday life, I'm constantly learning things by, what's going on in my surroundings, or even digitally in these kind of digital spaces, which opens up another kind of avenue to explore this kind of question. Number 9, what tools do you use? Are you a digital nomad?
Definitely in the digital space. So coming from learning Photoshop and Illustrator, the entire Adobe suite. I think the latest softwares are kind of doing wonders, and sometimes I kind of keep on thinking the world of AI. So how, just using these softwares is just going to help. So yes, definitely learn the new few experience a few AI platforms of how quickly we can kind of turn around design. So yeah, I'm definitely in the digital space learning the new platforms.
I'm glad you brought up artificial intelligence. We had a great guest on, Dr. Philippe Pasquier, who runs an artificial intelligence lab here in Vancouver at Simon Fraser University. And
Right.
yeah, definitely check out that episode to get more information about AI.
Sure.
Number 10, how do you deal with work-life balance?
um, um I set in alarms for myself. I think that's the only way. And one way recently that I started was that I'm very fond of yoga. So I scheduled it specifically from my morning to like a noon time. Noon is no time to kind of do yoga, but I found out a good way of breaking in from every day, everything in the daily life, of switching, off the work and doing this. And when you do that, you kind of rejuvenate yourself in terms of physically, and so mindfulness is very important. And I think you have to force that in a way that it be it any time of the day. So you have to force yourself to kind of break that and achieve that balance. So that's very important. And I think with pandemic, a lot of other people have also realized that things like most of the things are online. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities nowadays. So just counting the blessings that I'm able to maintain that balance now.
I definitely feel that, I have so much gratitude to everyone who's kind of helped in this podcast journey so far. The guests have been so generous to come on and talk about their lives and work, and that's helped build a lot of different communities that are chiming in on these podcast episodes. So I'm so grateful to all of you listeners, and to my guests. Number 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? Maybe I would have been a singer. I kind of have explored myself in cultural ways at school level. So, yes, definitely I would have been a singer or into theater, maybe. So, yeah.
I
But
like,
again, a form of art only.
nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of more on that. Is that because you came from Pearl Academy, right? That's where you did your studies.
Yes, yes.
Okay, interesting. Number 12, what would you not like to do in terms of career?
I found, coming from where we are connected, I found teaching very challenging. Um, though it was interesting, but I'm not sure. I fit this question in a time that in the early time when I was told that I'm supposed to teach, I was not sure that because we are people who want to learn every day. So I was not sure if I still want to go back and teach, because am I right? Because design is something that can be explored on a daily level, and design concepts. So that I don't know, though there are ethics that need that, the codes of design that need to be kind of done. But yeah, I think teaching is something that I feel that I would not do.
Interesting. 13, what's your favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Favorite word nowadays, like I said, that I was reading Ikigai, and especially the logotherapy. I love the entire concept of logotherapy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into detail about that? What is logotherapy? I don't know that term.
Logotherapy, yes. So logotherapy in the short is why you're not dying, why people don't want to die. So if you want to discover the purpose in your life, so the question is that why don't you want to die? The essence of logotherapy is that what is keeping you up on the toes and why are you not dying?
Interesting. 14, what's your least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
What is the least favorite quote? I found, so it's not my least favorite, but I am exploring and I'm very amused by, how everybody is going gaga about growth mindset. So I think people are just kind of bragging about it. And I kind of feel it might be like a challenge of what people are talking and if they are probably applying that or not, because every third person is talking about the growth mindset, but I'm not sure if you're following all of that.
Interesting. 15, if you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
Crazy. I love being crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
16 is what keeps you up at night?
Um, I so whatever projects that we do and whatever design briefs that I'm trying to do, so the day end keeps on revolving of how I am, and for that matter, not just like keeping it up the night, but even in the dreams I kind of vision the patterns or the colors or what is it that I'm trying to infuse into the artwork. So yes, the entire design bit keeps on revolving in my head and it keeps me up of if I am kind of at the exact point and I feel I'm never uh, full of satisfaction that if it is the end, if it is the end or not. So I am supposed to call it like a forced end of meeting, like I have a deadline and just giving in the work, but I keep on striving that if it could be enhanced in any better form.
I like that you brought up dreams, like the dreams we have at night. I think that's such a kind of mysterious topic. I would love for more guests to talk about dreams. It would be a fascinating topic. 17, what's a dream you're chasing?
I think the dream that I'm chasing is happiness and inner peace.
Mm.
That it can never be a complete circle, but life is all about finding happiness each day.
I like that. I like happiness. Final stretch, number 18. What inspires you?
So staying relevant and the kind of world that we are living right now, though it's all mixed up, but it's very inspirational of like there are concepts now as 40 under 40 and 30 under 30. So in the publications as in the newspapers, I was just reading that there are small people, just probably sometimes school children who are kind of starting their own work. So I think the world around us is mixed, and I think we kind of take the positive out of it. So it's probably just seeking of how these young people are doing so well, and uh, they're beautiful at doing everything that they are doing, and they're doing it in with great passion. So yes, I think the youth, I would say, inspires me nowadays.
Great. 19, any advice you'd like to share?
I think any advice that I tell everybody is to be crazy enough to kind of experiment and take risks for that matter. Don't procrastinate at all. It's okay that, even if you are wrong, but take decisions. It's okay. I think it's wonderful to be crazy, and it's wonderful because, like I said, life is all about experiencing the day and finding that happiness. And doing so, you will always be happy, be it wrong or right.
Nice. That's encouraging. Number 20, the one that we all kind of love. How can our listeners keep tabs on you? How can we follow you? Where can we see all of your great ideas?
Sure. So I am active on almost on all the platforms, especially LinkedIn and Instagram, and I'm present under my ID Sugandhi Luthra on LinkedIn, and my personal ID is there, basking on the divine love. And another small setup with all my works, the projects that I'm leading, it's called Silver Tree Design Studio. So that's where I kind of bring in all my works together. So that's where I can be tracked.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Sugandhi. It's awesome to hear about, all of your kind of ways that you approach life, how you kind of simplified it in a way that makes it really relatable, I think, for all of our listeners, and probably makes life quite meaningful for the way that you live it. So it's great to hear. Yeah, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Thanks.